Didn't see you there. This is a very special episode, and part of it is because I'm not fragging anything. But in my most recent video, I talked about how I changed my grading scale from a 10-point scale to a 5-point scale. And so I just wanted to explain kind of the thought process that's going on, because I know a lot of the times when I'm reviewing foods and how it's fragged, I am explaining some of this, but as far as like the actual score, I don't really touch on that. And so here's what I'm going to do. There's 5 things that I look for every time I'm fragging something. And just because one of these things is maybe missing or is added, doesn't mean that it gains a point or loses a point. And then I'll go through the actual scale and kind of like what the numbers are meaning in my head. And so one of these things is, as you are going out and you are fragging your own stuff, you're like what you're looking for may be different than my list. Your scale may be a little bit different. That's the joy of the Fregg. It's personalized to every single person. And so what works for me maybe is what is different from what works for you. So let's go into these. So these are the 5 things I look for. So texture. So for me, that is, is the Fregg adding anything as far as a texture element? And so it's like, I don't love super mushy textures necessarily. So I kind of like a little bit, I would like it more runny or maybe a little bit more crispy, but like that weird in between, not really a fan of that. Number 2, taste. Does the general taste of the egg and the yolk, does the egg and the yolk, does the flavor of that mix well with whatever food I'm fragging? Number 3 is mixability. So whenever I'm mixing in the egg with whatever I'm fragging, does it mix well? Are all of the components being added like throughout the meal? So I really think about mixability as one of those things. Number 4 is ease or functionality. And so for this, what I mean is if I'm fragging something like a birthday cake, that's not something I would normally want to get a Fregg for. And so that adds a level of difficulty. It makes it a little bit harder. And so whereas something like maybe some sort of breakfast item where I already have all of the ingredients, that would be better. And so that's kind of what I mean by ease or functionality. And then number 5, egg. That's pretty standard. Is it an egg? So those are my 5 things. And then here's my scale on a score of 0 to 5. So 0, I would never want to eat it again, and it made me feel sick, like while I was eating it. A 1 would be I would never eat it again, but it didn't necessarily make my stomach hurt, so still not a good score. 2, I probably would not Fregg again. I think there could be a special circumstance that could allow for it, but in general, 2 or below, I'm not going to Fregg again. So then you get to the 3. So I'm more likely to Fregg this, but I still think this would be something that you need some sort of special circumstance. But it is more of an option. A 4 definitely will Fregg again. I think if I'm giving it a 4 or higher, it drastically improved the quality. I would want to add this to part of my routine of if I eat this food again, of adding a Fregg. And then number 5, if you get a 5, that means this food without a Fregg is drastically inferior to with a Fregg. So a 5 is like, man, every single time I make that again, if it doesn't have a Fregg, I'm gonna be sad. That is my Fregg criteria. I'm very curious, do you have a Fregg criteria? Guys, look at this. I wrote it out. I mean, that's how serious this is. So please, let me know if you have some sort of ranking system or some sort of notes that you have whenever you're fragging stuff as well. And please, once again, let me know what you think of this, but also let me know what you guys want to see fragged next. I have a couple fun ideas of how I'm going to choose some of the suggestions that my fans have given me. So stay tuned and catch you on the next one.